Good afternoon, and welcome to Love, a Transformational Series. Let's join Hewlett now as she shares on this topic.
Thank you for joining me on our Love Transformational Series again. I am so excited to have you. Bless you, bless you. Have you ever done something so bad that you wanted to just run away and hide? I have. How about, have you walked away from a perfectly good relationship thinking things were better on the other side to later find out you had it good all along? How about you had someone to walk away from the family for whatever reason, and now they want to be a part of the family again? And we're not too cool with that idea. Why is it so easy for us to search to find things but not people or relationships? Is it a question of where we place the value? I want to talk to us today on the topic, Love Restores. Now, in Luke 15, Jesus gives three parables: the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the lost son. And he gave these parables when he was with some tax collectors and other, according to the Pharisees, notorious sinners, who often came to basically listen to Jesus teach, and sometimes he'd end up eating with them. And so the Pharisees and teachers of religious law had something negative to say about Jesus hanging with these sinful people. So he gives these three parables as a way to enlighten them and basically, in my opinion, to shut them up. So he tells them about this man who had 100 sheep, and one leaves, and he goes and search for the one. And when he does find the one sheep that he's found that left him, he comes back and he rejoices with his friends, and he basically tell his neighbors, and they begin to just be excited with him that his sheep has come back home. And then he talks about the coin, where this woman had about 10 silver coins, and she loses one, and then she shines a light and begins to sweep the entire house carefully until she finds it. And then when she finds it, she rejoices and tells her friends that, guess what? I found my lost coin. And in sharing that, Jesus says it's the same way it is in my presence in heaven, that there is joy in the presence of God's angels when even one sinner repents. When one person decides to ask for forgiveness and be restored. So let me tell you the story of a young man who had life really good. And it's the story about the parable of the lost son. And to illustrate the point further, Jesus gave this parable. And he said a man had two sons, and the younger one told his dad, basically, I want my share of the estate before you die. So his father agreed to give it to him. And he divided the wealth between his two sons. Although the second son, the eldest son didn't ask for it, but seeing we're in the division business, let's go ahead and divvy it up and give it to the both of them. So that's what he did. And the young son went away, left the house, went on his merry way, hung out in the city, hung out with friends. He was probably flashing his inheritance around, and he found out that the friends that were with him when he had the money could no longer be found, and he lost his money. He wasted it, really, and just did all the stuff he wanted to do. The Bible says he, used it for riotous living. So he probably was hanging out in the club, doing all this sort of stuff, and lost all his money and no friends around to help him. And so he got really hungry, didn't have anywhere to stay, and he went to this, local business guy and said, you know what? I'll even go as far as to take care of your pigs. And the Bible said he got so hungry that he looked and thought to eat the slop that the pigs were eating. And he said to himself, you know what? My dad has money. My dad, even the servants eat better than this. My dad is the one who is the rich man. And I need to just humble myself and go back and tell my dad, guess what, Dad? I'm not even worthy to be called your son. Just make me one of your hired servants. And so the Bible tells us that his father goes out and looks. It appears as if his father goes out almost every day looking to see his son come back home, and he did. And he was so glad to see his son. He didn't berate him. He didn't tell him you shouldn't have left. He didn't give him the 10th degree in conversation. He didn't, demean him. The Word of God tells us that he ran and hugged and fell on his son, and they hugged and kissed. And his father decided to have a party for him. So verse 22 of Luke 5 says, Luke 15 says, but his father said to the servants, see, his father didn't even answer him when he said, Father, make me one of your hired servants. His father didn't even take into account what his son asked. He said, quickly bring the finest robe in the house and put it on him. Get a ring for his finger and sandals for his feet. And kill the calf we have been fattening. We must celebrate with a feast. For this son of mine was dead and has now returned to life. He was lost, but now is found. So the party began. Yes, love restores. Love doesn't beat up. Love doesn't, kill. Love doesn't expose. Love doesn't demean. Love restores. So why is restoration important? It's important because relationships matter. Sometimes we tend to put more value on things. If someone stole our car, we will go to the lengths to try and find it. If we lose our phone, we won't even leave the house until we find it. Does it really speak that we put more value on things than on people? Relationships should matter to us. We were created for community. We were created for relationship. Restoration affects the health of the family. There are fathers wanting to join back with their children. There are mothers wanting to feel a part of the family again. There are brothers and sisters that want to reach out. And because of what they've done, we have ostracized them. But what love does, love restores. Yes, I know there are situations that are, causes, distrust, and the person may not have changed. But I believe when there is forgiveness, when the person asks for forgiveness, when the person apologizes, we ought to really think about how we would want to be treated. How would we want to be restored? So, the health of the family is very important when it comes to restoration. It affects the health of the community. Getting along serves the interests of everyone. You have what I need, so therefore I need you. And I have what you need, so therefore you need me. So we ought to really consider and really ponder on this. I know this is not an easy subject to embrace, because a lot of times when we see people, it rehearses some of the bad things that they've done, some of the hurt, some of the pain we have experienced. But we really need to get to a point, and this I'm preaching to myself as well. We really need to get to a point where we see how great love God has shown us, when we see how much He has forgiven us of, when we see how He has restored us, when He doesn't hold our sin and our guilt against us, but because we come to Him humbly and have asked Him for forgiveness. And there are times too, let's be real here, there are times too when we have not even realized that we've done something wrong, egregious against God or against others, and God still blesses us. We need to give people a chance. Love restores. Mother Teresa says that it is a kingly act to assist the fallen, not to step on them and push them any further down, but to assist them. Our heartstrings need to be purified. Our heartstrings need to be touched by God for us to be able to really help restore someone else who has fallen. That young son was at fault. He asked his daddy for his money. And he went ahead and did some horrible things with the money and lost all of it. But you notice how the dad responded? He responded in love. And he even went as far as to say, my son who was dead is now returned to life. He didn't physically die, but he died with the way he responded to life. And he says, and he was lost, and now he is found. So let the party begin. For that father, having his son back meant more than any money he could have taken from him. Let's ponder on that. Let's put more emphasis on relationships and less on things. Love restores. Love truly restores. You are restored and I am restored. So let's show love because it matters in the end. Relationships matter, community matter, and family matters. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you again this time next week. Have a great day.
Were you empowered and moved into action? We hope so. If we don't transform the world, who will? And if not now, when? See you next time. And remember to register for our upcoming Love Thrives Community Conference, June 22nd through 23rd. For more information, go to ilovenow.org. Thanks again for joining us. Bye for now.